This video will review the use of the BBP-AOS bottom bracket bearing extractor. Bottom bracket bearings will need replacement as the bearing surfaces wear out. You may also want to remove the bottom bracket to route shift or brake wire and housing through the shell. The BBP-AOS will extract the adapter without any impact, allowing the bearing to be reused. The BBP-AOS bottom bracket bearing extractor set is included as part of the BBP-2. It is also available separately for those that already own the BBP 1.2 bottom bracket bearing press kit. This set is designed to extract press-fit bottom bracket adapters from through spindle type systems. Through spindle bottom bracket systems use a spindle that is removed from the frame shell while the bearings remain in place. By choosing the correct extractor cup, it can pull either the entire bottom bracket from a press-fit shell or the cartridge bearing alone out of the adapter. The BBP-AOS also includes drifts for pressing the cartridge bearing alone back into the adapter or cups. To pull the entire press-fit bottom bracket bearing and adapter, the extractor cup must be braced against the frame. Begin by measuring the outside diameter of the flange on the bottom bracket adapter. Choose the extractor cup that is slightly larger than the flange. Now to select the correct expanding collet. Measure the bearing inside diameter. The table included with the kit gives the corresponding collet part numbers for the bearing IDs. You want the collet that just fits through the bearing. There are push rods designated for each collet. Select the push rod that matches the collet. Install the collet into the bearing. Push the collet evenly and forcefully into the bearing. Slide the press shaft with extractor cup through the collet and bottom bracket shell. Slide the smaller end of the push rod over the shaft and fully seat it against the collet. The collet will expand as the rod pushes against it. Install the back plate onto the shaft. Hold the shaft and turn the handle until the extractor cup, push rod, expanding collet, and bearing are in contact. Now, double check the alignment of the tool on the bearing. Insert an 8mm hex tool into the end of the shaft and turn the handle of the tool until the adapter is removed. Take apart the press and get to the collet inside the bearing. The collet will still be inserted inside the bearing and will need to be carefully removed. One option is to place the collet on a bench, small side down. For the bearings hidden deep in the adapter, use an extractor cup and a large push rod from the BBP-AOS. Another method is to use a vise to support the bearing. Then, drive the collet down and out. In some cases, you may need to get creative. After removing the collet, repeat the removal process on the other side. Some bottom brackets, such as the GXP styles, use two different left and right bearing inside diameters. In this case, remove the smaller side first. There are certain situations where the press fit of the cartridge bearing into the adapter is weaker than the press fit of the adapter into the frame. This can cause the cartridge bearing to come out, leaving the adapter in the shell. In these cases, it is necessary to find other means to remove the adapter, such as tapping it out from the backside. The BBP-AOS can also be used to extract cartridge bearings from their adapter. However, keep in mind not all bottom bracket adapters are designed to accept replacement cartridge bearings. If in doubt, contact the bottom bracket manufacturer. Measure the outside diameter of the bearing being removed. Then, select the extractor cup close to that diameter. You need one that fixtures against the adapter, not the frame. This will pull the cartridge bearing from the adapter, leaving the adapter behind in the frame. Measure the inside of the bearing and select the closest fitting collet. Install the collet and the correct push rod. Tighten the push rod against the collet and continue to turn to extract the cartridge bearing. Because the extractor cup was against the adapter, only the cartridge bearing comes out. There are some cases that may require some extra thinking. This is a dub-sized bottom bracket bearing for a 28.99mm spindle. When the correct collet is used, it extracts only the sleeve, not the entire bottom bracket. Without the sleeve, it is now a 30mm bearing. Install the correct collet for this, and it extracts the entire adapter. The BBP-AOS will also press cartridge bearings back into an adapter. In these cases, install one bearing at a time. Measure the inside and outside diameter of the bearing. Select the corresponding drift from the BBP-AOS. See Table 3 in your instructions. From the BBP 1.2 bottom bracket press, select the correct drift for the opposite side. Select a drift to distribute the load. Prepare the press surface area as appropriate. Choices include a retaining compound or grease. Slide the bearing on the drift and onto the pressing tool. Install the opposite drift and backplate. Tighten the handle while holding the shaft with an 8mm hex key. Repeat this process on the other side. The supporting backplate may need to change.
Thanks for watching. You can find hundreds more videos like this one on our channel here on YouTube. And we're constantly working on more. So be sure to subscribe for the latest content from Park Tool. And check out our website, which has even more content to help you make your bike better.